21mm socket, remove all 5 of your lug nuts, and then take off the wheel. So this is a 14mm nut, and typically you put an Allen head in the middle of it, but this one's super rusted, so there's no way I'm going to use an Allen head in there. It's just going to strip out. So I'm going to use some locking pliers on the back of it, on the stud. Try to make them as tight as possible so that when you get your socket on here and try to remove the nut, the stud doesn't want to spin. Ah, there we go. You want the locking pliers to hold it nice and tight. Now, again, 14mm socket. Let's remove this nut. That came off perfect. Sometimes you'll struggle and the stud starts to spin. In that case, maybe apply a little bit of heat, but be very careful because you do have a gas pressurized shock here. Okay, I'm going to apply a little bit of heat to this nut. Watch out where you're pointing your flame. Another thing you can try is cutting it off. You're most likely going to have a cutting wheel rather than an oxygen acetylene torch where you could just literally melt this off and kind of get it out of your way. But you know, most people have a cutting wheel, so let's try that. All right, take your new sway bar link, start it on the bottom. I like to put grease on these threads. That way it'll come off easier next time. If you want to put anti-seize, that's fine. And I'm actually going to leave it backed off a little bit. This is a 15mm now. The reason I like to leave it backed off a little bit is because it's a locking nut and I want it to get some speed to thread on. That way it'll overcome the locking aspect. Okay, that's on. Let's get it onto the top. Position it into the strut. Put on your top nut. Snug this one down as well. Okay, let's torque them. 40 foot-pounds. Let's do the bottom one as well. Perfect. Let's get the wheel on. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, and torque them to 76 foot-pounds.